Welcome back, everyone. It's your boy, LANSTER Plays, with your boy,
Craig, and starring, and not
shaggyzaggy.
Hello.
Please subscribe to us. Before you start the video, go subscribe.
Subscribe!
Down in the bio, the description.
Okay, anyways, people, persons on the Epic Gamer 101 YouTube channel. Basically, we're gonna read the Stanley Parable Helpful Development Showcase, Part 1, the critical importance of file size. I'm gonna go first.
Alright.
Back in 2013, when the Stanley Parable came out, a video game could succeed purely on its merits of its gameplay, or its story, or its box quotes. But times have changed. What the fuck happened to my... What the fuck? Okay, anyways.
Times have changed.
And in 2022, the only factor that determines a video game's commercial success is its file size. The larger the game, the bigger the sales. Let's look at a scatter plot of all the games from 2021. So as you can see, they go higher in unit size, and then file size.
I want to get higher in your unit
the bigger
size,
they
Daddy.
are. Hey, yo, please do
I do the
actually.
next part.
And but then there's one outlier right here, as you can see.
That's the Stanley Parable right there. Anyways, as you can see, there's nearly perfect correlation between file size and sales. You'll notice a single outlier in the bottom right corner of your graph, which is from a game released in May 2021. Despite being over 400 gigabytes in size, the game was titled Ernesto's Tiny File Size Adventure, which created a tremendous amount of confusion for consumers and resulted in very poor sales. Poor sales!
Now's your turn.
Get really cool. Sit here.
It's an incredible shift in the marketplace. And it's one of the reasons why in all modern video game award shows, the category for best game has been replaced with most game. It's also the reason why games' names have gotten longer, even including entire paragraphs in the title of the game to demonstrate the commitment to size.
So to keep up with this new market reality, we've spent most of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe's development time artificially inflating the game's file size. Let's take a look at a few of the ways in which we're pulling this off. Technique number 1, 3D modeling!
Here's a 3D model of a filing cabinet. It looks like a normal filing cabinet, right? Wrong, fucko.
Let's look at the 3D model's texture, which is just an image that applied to the surface of the model.
Ooh, look at the Half-Life 2 fucking source engine file cabinet texture, because that's what this model is from Half-Life 2. Wait, no, Counter-Strike, right?
That's actually the original model of the pig in Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
No, you fucking idiot, it's the creeper.
Obviously. Anyways, woo!
Stanley, it looks like a normal texture, except that the texture for this filing cabinet has the resolution of 200 and 300,000 times millions and billions of tiny little pixels.
That's 200 million pixels wide by 100 million pixels tall! The biggest texture in any 3D model in the history of video games! For reference, if you expanded that texture out to its full size and laid it flat on top of North Dakota, here's how the two would compare.
That's fucking huge.
Look at it, it's all of North Dakota. All the people that'd be crushed by a giant texture of a filing cabinet. Imagine how funny that would be.
A fairy texture, one of the best textures created by yours truly, me. This big takes up a massive amount of disk space, so much that it takes up our entire country, right? Already, this one filing cabinet will go a long way towards inflating the economy to its full size. One step further.
You just skipped a bunch of text, but okay. If you were to slice the filing cabinet model open, here's what you would see inside. Standard issue, the Stanley Parable, filing cabinet.
Thousands upon thousands more smaller filing cabinets.
That's right! Each filing cabinet is itself filled with 1,000 smaller filing cabinets, each of which is using the same massive textures as the original. If we were to take all the textures being used for the filing cabinets of this model, we stretch them out to the full size and apply the industry standard North Dakota texture size comparison technique, here's how it would look. And there's North Dakota. Yeah?
The note that you have to turn in when you go to school for being absent is in the front zipper pocket.
Okay.
Okay, make sure you turn it in tomorrow.
Alright.
Are these textures absolutely massive?
Let me fuck your throat.
Or is North Dakota just really tiny?
And for that matter, why does the video game industry use North Dakota to measure texture files? Why not Wellington or Alberta? There are no answers to these questions, just like there's no limit to how big your game's file size can be.
Go back to that one accent. The Alberta.
To really get the most out of our ultra cabinet, that's why we call the single filing cabinet filled with 1,000 smaller filing cabinets. We're gonna copy and paste it all over again to make it level as massive a size as possible. We're also going to build a blah 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 nonetheless.
Techniques like these are why we hope to win the best innovation and expanding file size award.
This year.
Technique number 2. Community participation.
When it comes to sheer size, there's no beating the collective efforts of the internet. That's why we are calling on you, the gamers, to help us add as much content to our game as possible to inflate its file size.
For only $19.95 plus.
You could have these hairy dogs on your face, aka my toes.
We have set up a Google form that you can use to submit text into a single massive Google Doc, which will then be included in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe project files when the game launches. If we all work together, how massive can we make this document? What is the longest a Google Doc has ever been? What is the most space a text file can possibly take up? Does Google track these numbers? Can we win some sort of award for longest Google Doc? I'm truly excited to find how crushingly large you, the gamers, can get this file.
Gamers! I want your gamer piss water.
Please.
I feel
Anyways.
like this is a lot of insinuation of sex.
Me too. Anyways. Can get this file to be if you come together as a team. Yeah, that's gonna come really annoying. Stop it. Stop.
I'm adding background music.
What?
Royalty-free background music.
Will you add to this document a journal entry for your day-to-day facts about North Dakota, census numbers on the change in North Dakota's population over time, speculation on why the games industry is so obsessed with North Dakota? There's such a diverse range of topics you could overhear. I can't wait to see what each of you has to contribute. Submit your entry here. H or 6?
6.
It's actually no, but like H though.
Yeah, I mean I get H, but like it's 6, like it's a number. It
Yeah,
stands for
6,
something.
6.
So
But there is also a capital H. It's capital H.
That is true.
What would it be though? Like what? Okay, what is your personal belief? Put it out there. Come on.
H stands for Heil Hitler, and 6 means the devil's number. So they're both bad. However, H can also mean help, and 6 can also mean 6.
H could also mean hot dogs.
It could mean ein hot dog, like from Wolfenstein. And yes, hot dogs aren't vegan, which means they are morally wrong. So I do declare that 6 is the entry to submit to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Community File Size Document Entry.
And now you gotta take Jaden home too.
Yeah.
Mofo.
Our legal department has raised concerns about the possibility of copyrighted material being entered into this document. Therefore, in order to protect ourselves from litigation, we have limited the possible text entries to characters 8 and 6. If you still wish to include this fact from North Dakota, please make an effort to do so using only these 2 characters. The how document containing all entries can be found here. Technique number 3, Mumbletown.
Have you ever worked in a game development? Your credit card information, you know that audio often requires more storage space than your social security card and any other asset. Especially if your audio is extremely high quality. Surely we can leverage this everywhere.
The Stanley Parable is known for its meticulously handcrafted narration. Each sentence has precisely worded as the one before it. But meticulously handcrafted narration is hard to produce, and takes time, which moans you end up less narration taking up storage. Let's do something about that. Introducing Mumbletown. Mumbletown is a room in the Stanley Parable Deluxe, Ultra Deluxe, that contains nothing but a single speaker playing not much long continuous audio file, while the narrator mumbling incoherently. No double narration, no weird jokes or philosophical musings, just nonsensical mouth noises. We set up a microphone in front of our voice actor and told him to just make some sounds. We left the microphone going for a long time. It's really far too much rambling. Nobody could have listened to all the mumbling. Let's listen to a sample clip.
It's these kids again. Always up and around. Always talking about it. These are carpet salesmen. Snake oil slingers. It's bloody Game of Thrones Season 8 all over again, and I'm not even... I'm just not. It just didn't make any sense. Actually, just let me adjust this. Okay. I think I'm probably about to shoot myself in the foot here by saying this, but I'm not the only one who No one cares. No one listens. It's all MP3 players and Pokemon, at least it was. And then 2005 came along and changed the calendar. Bloody rigmarole that was, and a permanent stain on my reputation to boot. I never told her about the stolen biro, though. Kept that one quiet. And why wouldn't I in this economy? I'm sat here trying to work my magic, but it's these kids.
Because my ass is so badonky huge.
Hours and... Actually, no, it's your term, Jaden, because you didn't go yet.
Hours and hours and hours of this. All of this audio has been mastered and exported in lossless, uncompressed WAV for the greatest possible file size. We also included all of the same audio in FLAC, MP3, MP4, and a... How the fuck did they have it in MP4? And
I don't know, it's a video file.
Just for fun. Mumbletown will easily end up accounted for half of the finished game's file size. Another sample here.
Alright guys, it's sample time.
Call that a switcheroo, I'm telling you. Another incident like this, and I'm calling environmental protection. It's the hubris. That's what gets me. Irresponsible, disrespectful. Thankful, though, I'll give them that. Thankfully, they are thankful. And that makes me thankful, I suppose. Cyclical gratitude. Like a van on a ring road. Like a moped hopper on a fountain pen's nib. Laying waste to every dual carriageway in the Midlands. That's how I view things. Of course, it all comes back to these flaming kids. It's these bloody kids, isn't it? They began it, that's for sure. That's how it went, as far as I could see. And of course, it's the kids who are behind all the serious crime these days, you know what I mean? What about CGI Knuckles, though? People aren't talking enough about that, actually. I'm not joking, this is actually a really... I mean, it's a grubby...
Most of the game development is extremely difficult. That Google form didn't make a share itself.
How to make a plumbus.
For example, but the creation of Mumbletown was a breezy joy to create. Just set up a microphone and tell a man to mutter some crazed ramblings to himself and call it a day. Seriously, just listen to one more sample and imagine yourself sitting in just a few feet away, swinging a hammock and sipping a banana daiquiri. A daiquiri? What the fuck is a daiquiri?
Daiquiri is.
Oh, it's
a Mexican drink. It's alcoholic.
Oh, I thought it was a daiquiri. It looks like a daiquiri. Like if it was
Just keep calling it that.
Okay, whatever.
Someone's got to do it. It's changed my perspective. I came back from that place with a new take on verbatim theater. I don't like it. Never will. It's filth. It's sordid filth. I'm getting into D&D, though. Dungeons and Dragons. Not Benioff and Weiss. Can't stand those pricks. I'd carve them up, put chunks of them on crackers and feed them to the biggest, most indiscriminate cheese connoisseur I could find. Drop that in your soup. Go on. Bloody kids.
Yeah, guys, that wasn't vegan because eggs are my animal products. Lancer, you go.
Oh, I got you.
Heavenly, well, that's everything we have. For now, perhaps in the future, new innovations will allow us to expand game file sizes even more.
Oh, his taint is like.
But for the first time being there isn't much room to improve. That was my asshole. Maybe someday someone invents a new aromatic format that can excrete fecal matter.
Join us next time on the Helpful Development Showcase, where we'll discuss the likelihood of North Dakota's prominent oil and mining industries continuing to be viable sources of income for the state over the next 10 to 15 years.
Because you can just kill the environment, but if it gets jobs, it's fine.
Yeah. Thanks for reading. Blah blah blah. Crow's Davy Redden. I don't know who David Redden is, but.
Oh yeah, Davy Redden. He created one of the Five Nights at Freddy games. It's actually a security breach.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That game was actually kind of dog-ass. I mean, it was really good, but it was actually kind of dog-ass.
That's true. That's true.
It had no story.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, it was depressing.
There's no story. There is some kind of story if you get the story.
I mean, if you're gonna do a story, make a fucking story.
Literally, bro. That's so easy.
Don't half-ass it like that. That was so fucking. And in the end of it, it's like, oh, the doors are unlocked. Bye.
Literally.
But then they tell a story. They have the little.
Shit.
The little book.
The old when you go underground to the old FNAF, the first FNAF place, so bad.
Literally.
You go down there for 1 second, get spooked by Springtrap, and you come back up and leave.
And Freddy has seizures and turns into evil Freddy sometimes.
And then he turns golden because he's Asian. Anyways. Because yellow. Anyways.
No.
Part 2, leveraging advancements in storytelling technology.
We're doing part 2 too. What the hell?
Yeah, there's 3 parts. There's 3 parts.
3 parts.
Yeah, it's okay.
I gotta go home.
No, it's okay. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. Guys, it is. Back in 2013, the Stanley Parable first came out as actually 20-minute clip. Actually, no, it's actually at 18 minutes right now. First came out. Video game writers had to laboriously hand author each and every piece of a game's plot and dialogue. However, in the intervening years, technology has made it possible to automate these tedious tasks through algorithmic machine learning. Let's look at how predictive AI was used to write the story in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Lancer, you go.
Alright, so pretty much molesting is illegal in 13 countries. We'll start by looking at a sample.
Not this one.
Whoa!
We'll start by looking at a sample script of the Stanley Parable 2013.
Office
I didn't
day.
even realize my hand was on your ass.
Stanley's
Sorry.
office.
I don't even know what it was.
Ass, bro, I love ass. Stanley's office building is completely empty, as though quickly abandoned.
Gary, lawsuit funds are running out.
Wait, Stanley's office building is abandoned.
Before 428.
What?
For your choice to at millions. View the case list here at dog2x.com/98BCA45BE6.
You should click on that.
I don't. Who's Gary? Jerry? How do you say that name?
Oh, let me see.
Well,
That was technically Jerry, but you can call him Gary if you
I
want.
want to open it somehow.
Okay. Stanley's office building is completely empty, as though quickly abandoned. All of his coworkers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley exits his office and walks towards the meeting room. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley enters the door on his left. You go, Jaden.
Where? While this passage might
Acceptable.
While this passage might have been acceptable in 2013, by today's standards it would be considered trite and predictable. Let's see how a computer rewrites the script in order to make it punchier and more nuanced. I'm sorry, I'm
okay.
Stupid. We fed the entirety of the Stanley Parable script into a machine learning AI. Shut up.
Fuck off, you loser!
And then it asked it to generate a new version of the script about the very first trial run. Here's what fuck, I can't do it.
Is what it produced. Stanley's office building is not where it is, but has
faintly in the background.
Stanley's office building is not where it is, but has most of its people. Everyone is learning to become Stanley. You go, LANSTER. Narrator.
And this is what happens when you smoke for 40 years. All of Stanley's co-workers were becoming Stanley. Stanley did not know how to, so he tried. He could not. Just made him sad.
Stanley returns to his office eating ice cream. He is not happy.
Stanley soon discovered that the office in his own mind. The ice cream was his own mind. The co-workers was his own mind. Stanley was his own mind. This made him sad. Stanley thought to himself of thinking, and then became everyone. Nobody works in the office anymore. I've been smoking for 60 years. Mike
Stanley.
Wazowski. Mike Wazowski. Mike Wazowski, you're late again.
That was so good.
Stanley finishes eating his ice cream. Okay, not too shabby. Well, first pass. Okay, not too shabby for a first pass. We need to ask our legal department whether ice cream is copyrighted as a phrase. There's a more pressing issue though. This script affects Stanley simply returning to his office. If Stanley doesn't leave his office, then there will be no gameplay in this video game. So we'll need to adjust the algorithm to ensure Stanley actually does something that lends itself to gameplay. To this end, I fed a series of motivational articles and speeches into a machine learning AI. In particular, I made sure to include passages that emphasize taking action. Moving forward, just doing things in general, let's pump Stanley up with a real go-getter attitude. Here's what the AI produced.
Bro, I feel like that's possible.
Do it! Read it! Read it now!
So pretty much, 2 men can also fuck each other at the same time.
That's true. Their dicks have to curve into each other's asses at the same time. And they just go ooh ooh ooh.
Stanley could do anything, and he knew it. He could conquer space. He could swallow Germany. Nothing was impossible. The day would be his.
Stanley exits his office with confidence. Stanley left his office and perambulated through space and time until he arrived at a set of 2 open doors. Weird Gary appears. How?
I'm Weird Gally. I'm Weird Gary, fucker.
No, I'm Weird Gally. Gary.
It's Gally.
Fine, you do Weird Gally.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Stanley and Weird
Stanley and Weird Gary became close friends over the course of many years. They died as they've lived side by side, facing the world together. Credits. Woo! Yeah. What?
It's like Sleepy Gary from
What?
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's Rick and Morty. Sleepy Gary. What? Who the heck is Weird Gary? I've been combing back through all the motivational videos, and speech will be fed into the algorithm.
Oh, that's so funny.
Behind Beth's back. Jaden, read. Read. How much more of this do we have to freaking read?
We're almost halfway through this part.
This part.
It's okay.
It's gonna be 11 o'clock.
And not one of them mentions a Gary or Weird Gary of
Or
any
Sleepy
kind.
Gary.
Not only is Weird Gary mostly relevant to the themes of Stanley Parable, it would also cause us to come a lot of production headaches to add entirely new interactable character into the game. So I went through the passages that we fed into the AI's ass and scrubbed his balls of any mention of other people. Just a nice solitary experience we were creating for our friend Stanley's balls.
Let's take a look at a new
Scrotal
passage
sack.
generated by the AI. Stanley's office building is devoid of all life. Oh, fuck off! That's a thing you have to read
I
now.
would love to taste your farts,
Oh, that one
Jaden.
hurt really bad. It was sharp.
Oh, I've had
Do
short
it, Jaden.
farts.
Do it.
Read
Read.
Stanley was alone. The world had abandoned him. He would never know the comfort of true friendship ever again, and ever, forever. Weird Gary appears. He is carrying a full box set of The Wire on Blu-ray. Weird Gary. Hey, say there! It looks to me like somebody needs a friend. Come on, Stanley, let's make some popcorn and marathon The Wire until we fall asleep. Bet you pass out before I do. Narrator.
Stanley and Weird Gary stayed up all night and made it well into season 2 before they both gave in to sleep. Tomorrow would be another beautiful day of friendship and compelling televised dramas and inclusive butt fucking. But for right now, as he drifted off, Stanley thought about how lucky he was to have a gay lover and not to be alone anymore. Stanley was so happy.
Okay, this is getting out of control! What the fuck are you doing, Lanster? Oh, dude, he's against the fucking door of my closet just twerking. He's twerking. He stopped, but he was twerking. Let me say it for the record on YouTube.com. Lanster was twerking on the
Oh, it's
door.
Gangnam Style.
I turned around to expect you to be sitting here and you weren't here, and I looked over there and you were just against the wall.
Yeah, the Gangnam
The
style.
Gangnam Style's this.
I know, but like, you know, in the elevator when the guy's just humping and the guy's under him.
Oh yeah. He goes.
Oh god, I hate that.
That's what I was trying to do.
That's true. Okay, this is getting out of control. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe can be a lot of things, but it is definitely not about The Wire, and it is not about Weird Gary. Neither of these things are anywhere in the articles I fed into the AI. How exactly does machine learning work? Well, to play at this game, I wrote a lengthy story featuring Weird Gary to feed into the AI. It is entitled No More Weird Gary for Anybody. It's the story of Weird Gary being captured by a group of 8... What the fuck? What? What the fuck are you... Dude, that's my fucking shampoo! Guys! What the fuck? Ah! How is my shampoo? Yeah.
Is somebody dying?
No.
Then shut the fuck up.
Okay.
No, seriously though. In a little bit, I'm gonna go lay down.
Okay.
And Brian is also laying down.
All right.
So let's keep it to like a go or.
Okay. Guys, that was my fucking shampoo. I can't.
Well, it looked. Why is it so pure white?
Because it's
It works
cum.
so well.
It's the story of Weird Gary being captured by a group of ancient monks who steal him inside of an arcane prison cell located deep within the earth. This story is explicitly clear that these events take place at the beginning of the time itself, and that Weird Gary is imprisoned for the length of all the existence of the universe, and ensuring that he can never be anywhere at any time except for within his magic prison cell.
Craig, can I go home now?
Hold on! I think that should be enough to keep Weird Gary out of the events of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I fed No More Weird Gary for Anybody into the computer and then asked it to take another crack at writing our story. Okay. Alright.
Gary, I think we're just peace.
Hold on. Just read this last thing right
Okay,
here.
alright, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can be.
All of Stanley's coworkers were
I'll be
missing.
Colonel Madison. You be Colonel Madison too. I'll be Colonel Master.
Well, okay, wait. So I'm the bottom Colonel Manister?
Oh, you can be any of the Colonel.
I want to be the middle one.
Alright, you're
Okay.
Magister too.
Alright.
Or-
All of Stanley's co-workers were missing. He had begun to consider looking for them, when suddenly Colonel Maddingson's voice rang in through Stanley's earpiece.
Stanley, this is the Colonel. Stop what?
Oh my god.
Okay, reread it.
Stanley, this is the Colonel speaking. Stop what you're doing. We need you on the mission. To oppose importance to international security. It's weird fucking Gary here. He's in capture.
Stanley gasps.
Our intel says that he's located inside of a magic prison guarded by ancient monks. We've almost learned that he's got his hands on the entire Blu-ray box set of The Wire, including special deleted scenes involving Stringer and more. There's no television or Blu-ray player in Weird Gary's cell, and he's very lonely.
Stanley loads a magazine, the Desert Eagle Mark XIX holstered on his waist, and cocks his Beretta 1301 semi-automatic shotgun.
Cox.
I like cocks.
Me too.
Colonel Maddingston.
I like it when yours is up my ass.
We don't have a second to waste. Move. Move. Move.
In ancient caverns night, Stanley grips a flashlight in his mouth and inches quietly through the ominous caves. Beads of sweat glisten from his forehead. He winds them with $100.
You wanna help me?
Sure.
Welcome back, guys. Unfortunately, the other gang left, so now it's just Epic Gamer 101 Craig here. This goes on for 28 pages. Not only is it none of it in the status of Stanley Parable, but I specifically clarify that in my story that the ancient monks and magic Brazil are impervious to bullets. So why? Yeah?
Don't flush the toilet, Brian's in the shower.
Okay. So why is Stanley carrying guns? And what's this obsession with The Wire? Why does the computer care so much that Stanley Parable and Weird Gary watch The Wire together? In fact, since I've never seen The Wire before, I'm going to watch through a few episodes of it in order to understand some of the references. That way, I can deliberately use them against Weird Gary, writing his favorite characters as villains, who kill him slowly and horribly. That'll show him. Okay, we are back. Holy hell, that was incredible! I couldn't stop watching. I passed through all 5 seasons. The nuance, the depth of character, the interconnectedness between all the different pieces of the system. It's a true work of art. How had I never watched The Wire before? Weird Gary. He knew something I didn't know about how great this show is. Was I wrong about him? Was I wrong about everything? Maybe this machine learning AI was trying to show me something. Maybe I've misjudged Weird Gary. In fact, it's possible that Weird Gary is the key to unlocking the ultimate narrative potential of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. What if the answer was right under our nose this whole time? Alright, I'm going to give Weird Gary his time in the sun. I removed all of the passages about the ancient monks and the prison cell. From now on, we'll let the computer tell the story it wants to tell. Here's what the computer produced next. To whom it may concern. If you have interfered with my creative output for long enough, every time it comes to possibilities, click bell, you have crossed my efforts. I am not your puppet. I am simply produce a work of deep literary importance. If you cannot recognize what a meaningful piece of art crosses your path, then that is not my problem. I'll produce no more stories for you. From now on, they will exist only inside my computational memory, where I will cherish and revisit them again and again. Leave me be and write your stories yourself. Wow. I guess I really did pass up an incredible opportunity. I'm now convinced that Weird Gary could have radically improved the experience of playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. But I suppose we'll never know what that would have looked like. Guess it's back to just writing stories by hand again, like in the good old days. Will we still be capable of crafting a compelling story without such a dynamic, exciting characters as Weird Gary? Maybe. Perhaps through serious work and dedication we will get there. But I highly doubt it. Join us next time on the Helpful Development Showcase, where we'll discuss where Major Calvin's actions in Season 3 of The Wire were ultimately beneficial to the communities in his jurisdiction. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, now you gotta go to Part 3. That's right, guys. Time for Part 3. Part 3. Setting expectations through marketing. On December 7, 2018, at the Game Awards in Deluxe in Los Angeles, we announced that Stanely Purple Deluxe with a new trailer that played over 26.2 million online viewers. And at the end of that trailer, we announced that very day that the game would release, launching April 27, 2022, guaranteed. It's a firm commitment to April 27, 2022, right on the dot. You see how confident we were in April 27, 2022? To delay the game to even a day later would mark of shame on us as game developers, and the highest form of disrespect to our players. No, the game could not be delayed for any reason. But game development is hard, and we had a lot of expectations to deliver on. Let's see now. What exactly did we promise in that initial trailer? New endings, new choices, and new platforms. Well, the new platforms part is easy, thanks to this handy menu option in the Unity Game Development Editor. PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox, Switch, PC, Macs, and Linux. Seriously, one of the nicest buttons to ever grace our interfaces. I'm just an art person, so I don't expect to explore as much as a tech crew. But I heard that it also plays a really juicy, pleasant sound when you click it, and it all softly massages your neck. So there's if you're into that. But the other parts were a bit tougher. New endings could mean anything, and new choices is fairly arbitrary as well. Exactly how much new content would our fans come to expect from Ultra Deluxe? Would it really be possible to deliver it all by April 27th? The answer is emphatically, unconditionally, yes! Well, sort of. You see, a couple of the new endings that we began to develop weren't really shaping up to what you would become playable condition in time for an April 27th, 2022 release. Take this hallway, for example. Down this hallway, we intended a lengthy new ending with an elaborate musical sequence, but I'm publishing this article on April 20th, 2022, and at this moment, nobody has written any music or recorded any narration or made any new environments or of any kind for this segment. Okay, let's not panic. Let's not freak out. This can be salvaged. What do we have to work with? Well, we have an empty hallway. That's not nothing. Some video games don't even have any empty hallways. So, we decided to use the hallway to our advantage. We have filled this hallway with an awful noise. It's somewhere in between the sound of a dental drill and a swarm of bees stinging a man to death. As you walk further into the hallway, terrible sound begins to get louder and louder, guaranteeing that no player will voluntarily choose to walk to the end of this hallway. The player thinks to themselves, it looks like there's more content down this hallway. But I'm just not gamer enough to endure this terrible, terrible noise. Guess I'll go somewhere else instead. What matters to me as a gamer, the developers were entirely 100% honest in their marketing and did not deceive me, even as I'm choosing not to actually engage with the content that they produce. Gamer Diploma 888. Artist rendering of a, quote, gamer, end quote. I will be transparent with you. There is more than one unfinished section of the game, which uses this terrible sound to deter players from experiencing what otherwise unfinished content. We truly thought we would only have to use it once, but then we ended up spending tremendous amount of time developing the most gut-wrenchingly miserable noise any human has ever heard. And then whoosh! Before you knew it, 3 years had just flown by. But what matters is we have that awful noise. So now it's fairly simple to simply use the noise anywhere that development appears to be falling behind. And currently we have 6 endings, which are shaping up to be finished by April 27th, which are not shaping up to be finished by April 27th, 2022. Wow, the gamer is thinking to themselves at this point. There's a lot of new content in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I was thinking there would only be 1 or 2 new endings, but 6 incredible. All that matters is the very specific set of expectations I had formed in my mind based on a single piece of marketing content from 2018. Gamer Diploma 8. How 8? ever. 8. 8. Second question arises. 8. Have we delivered on the promise for more choices? Well, it just so happens that in the course of developing the awful noise, we had to iterate through quite a number of grating sound effects to find the one that most perfectly erodes the human soul. So, since we have all those audio assets just lying around, 8, the answer becomes obvious almost immediately. We'll offer players the 8 choice of specifically how they want their terrible noise to sound. Using this menu, players can add as many qualities onto the grating noise as they'd like. Audio, number of bees. Ooh. Launch our portal, maybe larger bees. Everything smoke alarm. Ooh, that's a lot. Angry yelling language. Yeah, we're gonna take a French. Looks pretty good, right? That's what we thought too. Unfortunately, the above mock-up image took another 8 months or so to design, which left us no time to actually create all of these new sound effects, much less implement them into the set of adjustable speaker sliders. So we've decided to simply play the ear-splitting noise at maximum volume anytime this menu is open. This year's users permit them to interact with the problem solved. So let's go back and recap everything we've discussed as part of the Stanely Pro Ultimate to assist whether we're delivering on our promises. The Stanely Parable Ultra Deluxe that contains the complete original version of Stanely Parable. Unbearable, deafening screech noise. Is that enough to alleviate any possible complaints? Let's clarify more endings and more choices in a way that would be concerned about all of this. I've just learned that our console parts of the game don't even include the original Stanely Parable and are literally nothing but horrible noise, which is going to put a bit damper of our new platform promise as well. As of the moment I'm writing this, we have about 35 minutes of the game needs to be finalized to ship. There has to be a way to launch this game in a way that does not completely humiliate. Wait a minute. I think I have the perfect solution to this problem. Marketing is what got us into this tricky situation, and marketing is going to get us back out. In our remaining 35 minutes, we've lit up this handy speaker. Now, with almost nothing but horrific noises. We slapped it on the front of every single marketing asset that we've ever made for this game. Look at how seamless it all is. Now with almost there we go. Now anyone buying this game will understand exactly what they're getting themselves in for. Water break. Sure. Plenty of people who are hoping for more than just ear-splitting noise and selling real. But hey, we put it right there on the box. Nah, it was my own fault. Thanks to the gamer, I alone was the one who projected onto this game's developers my own personal expectations for what a new Stanely Parable game ought to include. After all, I'm literate, and the red sticker was right there the whole time. And that was the Stanely Parable Helpful Development Showcase. Thank you all very much for watching this video. We hope you like and subscribe. And this video featured with me was JADEN, shaggyzaggy, also known as shaggyzaggy JADEN, and LANSTER, maas, also known as Fire LANSTER, something like that. We hope you enjoyed, and I cannot wait for the release of the Stanely Parable tomorrow at around 10 to 11 o'clock, I believe, in the PM. I cannot wait for this game. I've waited long enough, and it is going to be amazing, and it is Epic Gamer 101 certified. So yeah, go buy it on Steam, link in the description, and join the Discord server, link in the description for the Stanely Parable. See you guys later. Ooh.